try our best, just opening a couple of the nearby windows to get some visibility in the face of the rain that's been filtering through. Hopefully stays away and allows something like their last meeting, which was that 17 goal to 16 shootout, very much reminiscent of what you would expect a contest like this. A few jumper changes for Warburton ahead of this clash. Shannon Noonan from the 3 into the 39. Patrick Hyan into the 21. Liam Westlake from 31 to 40. Andrew Trenday 36 to 34. And Mitchell Gordon 38 into 29. So we say winner goes into a grand final. Loser will play in the prelim next weekend. Should be Father's Day weekend, of course. Sun trying to poke through the clouds as we get underway. Going up a little bit early in the ruck there was Aldridge, the co-skipper. Seville get hands on it first, but took a little bit too long. Free kick will go the way of the big man, Aldridge, who competed in the ruck and then hit the deck well, put on some pressure, laid a good tackle, drives the kick out towards half forward. Plenty of coverage on that. Baker trying to soccer it clear. They go with a low sort of worm burner kick inside 50, a little bit of a hold on the jumper. And the free kick here will go the way of Ikawane in defence. Short ball. Beninga has it on the interchange side, broadcast side of the grounds as the rain comes down again. We've got rain and sunshine at the same time, depending on what part of the ground you're standing on at the moment. Chipped forward. Cesare traps it and wrapped up at the fall, and we'll have a bounce just ever so slightly. Seville's attacking side of the wing. Decent wrestle in the ruck, allowed to go from the umpire. Seville with the clearance. It comes out towards Nolan. Hurried snap forward. Of course, Seville winning the qualifying final over Pakenham last week by 24 points, 15-10, 100 to 11-10, 76. Set up in the first quarter, they were 28 points up at quarter time and would win the game by 24. Intercept kick on the way out. O'Keefe, who kicked 4 in one of the earlier meetings between these sides this season and kicked 3 last week in that final. So he's in decent form. Difficult one here at centre half forward. Little bit of a tug of the jumper. Warburton will go with the left foot kick, but setting up well here. Seville able to pick off these intercepts, and they're now going to get marched up towards attacking 50. Man on the mark at about 55. Goes to the pocket and hooks the kick badly, and it goes out of bounds on the full. Still trying to retrieve the footy from down beneath the cars. They've got it back now in the back pocket. Warburton football. You think there's going to be a bit of a patient, relatively safe footy. As we say that, they go the switch, and that works okay. Mark taken by Noonan. One of those jumper changes that we spoke about. Into the middle, good kick. Finds a target at centre half back, Henry. Goes up towards a 2-on-2 down there. Lamarck be paid? No. It was touched off hands. Handball down towards the pocket. Fed out well. Saniga goes short, finds a teammate underneath the white tower down there in Thompson. Short ball, Broadway puts the body on the line, takes the mark. Met fairly solidly. Long ball intercepted. Walker takes the mark here at centre half back for Warburton. Goes to the far side of the ground. Looked like a bit of a hold there. It was a 2-on-1. Warburton were up against it there. Gave away the free kick as a result. Seville work it down just forward of the wing. Kick not ideal on the bounce. Nolan gave it off. They hook it around to about 40. Pack of players at the back. Socket out of the air. Bouncing towards goal. It stays alive and they put it through. Just popping up on the line. It was socket forward by Cesare there. And I think it was O'Neill that sweated on it on the line and got the opener. Big start. In fact, it was... First goal of the game. One straight 6. Seville looking to keep the ball rolling from last week's strong victory. We mentioned they were 28 up at quarter time. It was back to 9 at half time. Then a good second half as that's dribbled down towards goal and run through by Saniga for the rush behind. Quickly back into play. Bailey. It's a very good kick too. Saniga takes the mark on the lead in front of his team's interchange bench. Tries to find a target, surrounded by about 5 opposition players, and Di Petrutonio unable to hold the mark. That's turned over going forward. Farrow moves it quickly. They've got a player in space here on the wing. Good hard lead. Nolan takes it. As the rain eases up for a moment. Turned over at half forward. They are owning possession though and territory. Seville. Walker with the intercept mark. Finds Aldridge. As I just share it around, Aldridge probably takes his 4th mark in the first 8 or 9 minutes of this game. Short again. Baker. It's a good kick. It's a leading target. Interested there at half forward. They'll wheel around. Try to hit a target at the top of the square. How's the call? They get a good little front and centre. They got options out here. O'Keefe takes it on the bounce. Steps back through. Slightly dangerous kick. Opens a door here. Nearly a free kick to Warburton for over the shoulder. Nothing doing. Going in there. Schiattino to lend a hand. It comes out now to Nolan, who's had a good start to the game. Tries to bounce that down towards Farrow. Hand pass comes through. Nolan again. Gets it off towards O'Neill. Measures it into the pocket. Trende and Co keep that alive. Now they take on the tackle and gone. Short ball doesn't go the required distance. Dear Pietrantonio moves it on quickly. O'Neill with the wobbly shot towards goal, goes out of bounds on the full. It's a low wobbly kick, but it works out okay. Didn't come off the boot at all well. So long left foot kick towards the leading target. It's close to the boundary and out of bounds on the full. Ball just pinballing around inside 50. High tackle from the non-controlling umpire in the middle of the grounds. Gives Warburton some relief. Baker had a few possessions. Got some options out here. Kind of kicked it between the two of them. Wasn't an ideal placement on that. And it gives Seville a stoppage in their forward zone. 55-60 around. Lovely bit of work, taking the clearance there. Sciatino, the vice-captain. Hurried snap out there. Two players that could have marked that, almost got in each other's way. O'Neill, centering kick, well trapped. Squeezing through on the left and kicking the goal. Jai Sciatino, running flat out, was able to trap it with the right hand, then steady with the left and slide through the second goal of the game. 2 straight 12, plays 1 behind. Good start. They've certainly had the better of possession territory. Inside 50 numbers, for example, would be well in there. Good use of the body in the ruck there from Aldridge to get rid of his opponent. Worked up towards the half-back line. They take the mark just inside the field of play. Going up and taking the mark, Hewitt. Runner over the top. Hyen. Thought about the little 1-2. Kicking from a standing start. There was Henry. Goes very high in the air. Comfortably underneath it. Saniga to take the mark. Had a few intercepts through the early stages of the game. Short kick to O'Neill. That's a well-weighted kick too. It's under the fingertips of Petrie. Tries to force it down the line. Warburton gets some numbers there for support. Really good attack on the ball coming up there from Broadway. Like a roadblock, deflects it over for a throw-in. So 7 plays 1. Sciatino touched shot from a moment ago. Quick kick forward, didn't go the required distance. They play it on immediately. O'Neill looking for O'Keefe, sort of a half volley. It bounces through him. Good speed here from Warburton running out of defence from Noonan initially. Gave the ball off towards Rothwell. They bounced it inside 50. It got through a couple of defenders, but really good attack there from Kawone, who brings it in towards Sciatino. Moves it quickly. Kick hung in the air a little while, which gave Warburton a bit of a chance here. Dragged off the football. You think that had to be something, either holding the ball or holding the man if they felt he'd got rid of it. Play on was the end decision. Chipped into the middle. Good mark at full stretch from Hyen, right in the middle of the ground. Only has about 5 players behind him. Finds a target just forward of the cricket pitch area, maybe 80 metres from home. Can he find a target in there? It got through the first contest. Seville had numbers at the back. Just a bit of a fumble there from Medson, but that was okay. Trying to play it on quickly. Kick didn't go the required distance. Poke towards O'Neill. High end just gets her hand pass away. Dumped in the tackle. Seville will send it forward. 2-on-1 in favour of Warburton, doing really well. Andressa down there. Rothwell slides in, marks low to the ground. Goes to centre half back. They've worked it up now towards about 55. Just need one to settle into the contest. Running, charging around, thumping that from 50. That is a beauty. That'll take some beating for the goal of the day. Brilliantly done from Humphrey. You mentioned second in the goal kicking on the season. Goal of the day contender for Architectural Cladding Suppliers. Make sure also that you watch the OEFN Footy Show every Friday with Steph Barkas and Aidan Miller, 5 p.m. on the OEFN Facebook page, and of course the local footy hub sharing that for you as well. We're here for Healesville Greyhounds. It is the match of the day and one of the matches of the season. Potentially they may meet again in the finals. 1-1-7 apiece. And we'll have another bounce. So holding the ball, according to the umpire, was a 2-man tackle. Morrison receives the free kick, goes to half forward. Another intercept mark, and they'll play on. Noonan runs through the middle, took a bounce, then got caught in the tackle. Did bounce the ball quite early, and that just took a little bit of pace off his move through the middle as Seville send it long, and it gets over the hands of the big man back on the line, and it is a goal. They get their second. Fitting reward there for Saniga, who's had a bit of it in the early part of the game. 13 plays 7. Warburton work it down towards centre half forward, getting in the way. Dear Pietrantonio. Ball with Seville at half-back. Nolan probably had 6 or 7 possessions as well. Goes to Morrison, who had a hand in that last, attacking for it. Sciatino's kick not great. Turned over, hand pass, asked a little bit there of Baker. Out to Noonan. Wobbly kicks okay to the wing, gets to its intended target. Mark taken here by Hewitt. Finds a teammate. Now high and caught back towards Hewitt. Good pace to accelerate through that tackle, wobbles it forward. They were caught behind, but were able to make a contest or bounce it down towards about 20 metres from goal. Paddled into some space there from Petrie. And eventually it's worked over the boundary line and will be thrown in. So they get a stoppage in their forward half. They haven't had many of those. Quick kick off the outside of the boot, down the line, well read. Flying across the front and taking the mark was Tristan O'Neill. It's a hand pass to a runner coming past, tight up against the boundary, O'Keefe. Wheels around. Good kick to half forward, tried to mark it on the chest. Noonan didn't get a particularly kind bounce. Broadway tries to slide the hand pass through. It's a good attack on the ball again by Noonan, just overran it. O'Neill hand pass back. Thompson receives. Pressure very good on that occasion, as you would expect in a game of this standing. Feeding it back here via Trende, one of the jumper changes that we mentioned. Up towards the wing position, Broadway with the intercept. Popped over the top. Mark taken here by Di Pietrantonio. Off towards the man who kicked their last goal in Saniga. Goes forward and over for a throw-in. Stoppage here about 45 from their goal. Under pressure, the defence most of the way through. McHale tries to get the ball. A teammate in Sharp. Stepped off the line, just got boot to ball, which saved him there. Nearly a relayed free kick to Seville. I'll go long towards the top of the square. It'll bounce away from Aloy, the leading player, has kicked 40 on the season. Yet to see him have an enormous say so far. It's about 21 minutes or thereabouts has elapsed. Shallow throw in, so that'll be the last to be thrown in again. Stepping around, snapping on the left and making really good contact with that one. Cicere gets the goal. Another one who's been getting them going at the coalface in the first quarter. They've had very much the better of it in general play. The Warburton defence has held up quite well, but Seville now out to a 12-point lead, more befitting of that control that they've had without having stats in front of us. You'd think the inside 50 numbers would be something like 10-5. Going at about 2-1. 3 goals to 1 is the result so far. 19 playing 7. It's a shootout in the second meeting between these sides this year, 111 to 104. The first one a bit more of a lower scoring affair, 11-8-74 to 9-12-66. Free kick in the middle to O'Neill. Seville looking good early here, although that kick's turned over and that should probably be advanced. It will be. It's a little bit crude. Not a great kick at all. That's turned over. Jack Nolan, skipper, having a very good start to the game. That's not a bad kick towards O'Keefe. Used the body well, took the mark. Floats it long to the square. It gets over the top. It's the second goal they've kicked in almost that exact same fashion. Getting plenty of carry to that end of the ground. He's released that only off a couple of steps from outside 50. He was probably touching the centre square when he kicked that. And they've got 3 in a row. And they lead by 3 goals, 4-1-25 to 1-1-7. 4 individual goal scorers. Centre half back. Seville in possession, going into the middle. Important contest there. Upton just did enough to stop the mark being taken. And they tie it up. Just need to settle a little bit here. Do Warburton. We are seeing plenty of carry on those kicks to the left of your stream or down towards our broadcast position. O'Neill, there are a few of them out there. Bounces that inside 50. Not a great bounce for the forwards. O'Keefe still putting some pressure on down there though. Now lays the tackle. And the umpire said the tackle was a touch high. Noonan guides the kick to half forward, finds Ma, moves it on into the pocket, going up, getting hands to it. There was Humphrey, who's already kicked one very nice goal in this game. It has 55 for the season. Has that knocked away and over for a throw-in. Little hold on the jumper there on Holdridge, not spotted. Now the umpire's paid one the other way. O'Neill, it's Tristan O'Neill. Risky kick across goal. Warburton win it back. Can they find a target? They can. Very well done. Clever play by Upton. Just to show the poise, go low and not drill the kick, just sit it up for Humphrey to be able to run onto it. And very little the defender could do there. So Humphrey kicked an excellent set shot goal, an excellent general play goal about 10 minutes ago. Can he kick one from the set shot? It's the last act of the term and it misses to the near side narrowly. 1-1 for Bailey Humphrey, 1-2 for his team. 1-8 plays 4-1-25. Goals to O'Neill, Cesare, Saniga and O'Keefe for Seville. And as we say, Bailey Humphrey with an excellent goal in that first term. Winner into the grand final and Seville holding the advantage at quarter time. 4-1-25 plays 1-8. Loser of this game goes into a preliminary final to play the winner of the first semi. Pakenham and Alexandra in that contest. So we'll pause momentarily. A big thank you to all of our game day sponsors, Healesville Greyhounds, local footy hub, of course, Peters Suspension and Brakes, Architectural Cladding Supplies, and the crew at Gameface Vision. Make sure you head to the localfootyhub.com.au to download the app for all your live games and latest news. Welcome back here. You can see the menacing grey clouds in the distance. We do have sun immediately above us just at present. It's been one of those days so far. We're 2 days away officially from the start of September, but week 2 of this finals campaign. Very good start from Seville, as we said. They've split their meetings, Seville winning their home fixture by 8 points, Warburton their home fixture by 7 points. This on neutral territory for a spot in the grand final, and they may meet one more time before the season is done. 4-1-25 plays 1-8. Contest on that cricket pitch area. Seville had the better of clearance and certainly territory in the first quarter. Warburton had their moments, but 4-1 in a final, which you think is going to be more likely on the lower scoring end of the spectrum, more dour and tough. As a ball up here on the wing. Noonan been pretty lively, did get run down, which led to the second goal to Seville, but has been giving them a fair bit of drive. Another possession here for Seville. Thompson dumped as he kicked and impacted where that was going. McHale takes the relieving mark. Good kick too. Well shielded there. Mark completed from Hyan. Did enough. And a half forward, touched off hands, over for a throw-in. 17-point game. O'Neill jags it onto the boot. There's a whistle here by the non-controlling umpire who's going to say that that's a relayed free kick. Works quickly forward. It gets through the back. McHale feeds the hand pass in the Walker direction. They cut back into the pocket and holding the ball right in front of that Seville bench and that large contingent of their fan base that's come down for it. It's going to be Eliadis. Have the shot at goal here, about 40 metres out, tight angle, very similar spot to where Humphrey had his on the quarter time siren. Comes in, 35 metres out, drives it low near side, one behind. If dealing with a slightly dicey conditions, that low kick, not worst practice, but takes the breeze out of the equation. 4-2, 26 to 1-8, 18-point lead. Seville have kicked the last 3 goals of the game and lead it by that margin. Good mark in the end, shielded by Rothwell in the middle of the ground. Not a great kick though, but they're able to maintain possession. Left foot kick's got plenty of targets in the middle of the grounds. Irons the option going past. They delayed the kick. They've had a long running shot and it bounces to the right. And one behind. So Bar getting on the board, 139 to 4-2-26. Kick had a little bit too much on it. Aldridge at the back read it well and took the mark. He's taken about 5 marks so far in the game and gets a teammate there in the pocket. Not an easy kick. There were 2 that could have raffled that. And they'll go back and have a shot at goal here via Humphrey, who's 1 goal, 1 his work so far today. Starts it left and it goes further left. The umpire has signalled a behind there. A bit of Aussie Jones about that. I think that was out in the full. Sneaks it in, according to the umpire. 1 goal, 2 for him. 1-4-10 now plays 4-2-26. Saniga, the ball knocked down. Good tackle put on there by Bailey. Outside of the boot from O'Neill. Down towards the wing position. Liardis tries to paddle it along. Worked up inside 50. If they hold in the mark, they have. Hewitt showed some good dash up around the middle of the ground through the first term. Will now get a crack at goal, and they need one just to settle into the contest. It's not a bad looking kick, and they're starting to get a few looks at him early in this quarter, perhaps the scoring ends. They are at the last 3 shots, game of 4 scoring shots in the quarter now, 2-4-16, plays 4-2-26. Taken here at half forward, hooking the kick around on the right. Making a pretty good contest there was Tristan O'Neill against a couple of players, which meant they maintained possession. They jag it down towards half forward. Hurried snap is good. Creating a bit of chaos in the forward line. Making the most of the spillage. Well done. They go to O'Neill at half forward for his contribution. Malloy gets on the board. His first of the game, 41st of the season. Back out to 16, 5-2-32. Plays 2-4-16. Stepping through, Cesare, who's kicked the goal, gets it to Nolan. Bounces the kick out into the path of Liardis, feeds the hand pass off. Goes back and gets it again, spins out, keeps it low, bounces over the head. Couple of those contests, it comes out again. Banana doesn't come back from Farrow. Very rare that you see check side go dead straight, basically. 5-3-33 to 2-4-16, margin at 17. And he's been penalised for running too far. In from the kick in. Whistle blew just as he released. And it's given up a shot at goal. It's that same and again here in Arrow. Picked the couple in the qualifying final last week. Strikes it really well and gets another back-to-back goals to Seville. They answer one from Warburton, which had closed the gap to 10. It's now back out to 23, 6-3-39. Plays 2-4-16. Another important clearance to be won, but got to get their hands on the footy. Goes across, attacking 50 for them. Well trapped here by Broadway, who's done some nice things. Sciatino goes towards the pocket, and another free kick down there. Interference in the marking contest. All the Warburton fans down in front of us with hands on heads. So on the approach, 45 metres out, similar position to where Farrow was before, and draws this one through for a goal as well. Big few minutes in the contest for Seville, who kicked 3 goals in about 5 minutes and pushed the margin out to 29, 7-3-45 to 2-4-16. Nice clearance there from Walker. Will cut off. Yeah, right. Trellope moves it on short. Mark not taken, but he's on fire at the moment. O'Neill will get the free kick. Outside 50. This is Aspen O'Neill. Sets it up to the top of the square. Pack is split. Still alive here. Just getting too much space. Outside of the boot, another one. Broadway this time. Every time it hits the ground down there, it's landing in the hands of a Seville player. And they're just creating space. Defence under pressure. 4 goals in a row. 35-point lead, 8-3-51 to 2-4-16. And another takeaway. Down the wing, bounces it up towards attacking 50, out to Nolan again. Places the kick really well. You're going to run into an open goal. The artist, bang. There's another one. Terrific pass from Nolan. Eliadis becomes their 9th individual goal scorer. They've kicked 5 in the quarter now and 5 in a row. 9-3, plays 2-4, and it's getting rapidly away. The top side. Nolan now back into the ruck. Do no wrong at the moment. Relayed free kick advantage. Won't be paid. Probably should have been. They charged all the way forward. Still got to come all the way back, and controlling umpire as well, which means that they could have certainly called that on. Short kick. It's okay. It's chipped in again. Saniga, one of those 9 to have hit the scoreboard. Finds a target again down there, dear. Trantonio intercepted out on the lead by Trende. So it's 41 points the margin. Warburton have got to get a couple back before half time. Of course, the loser of this game will play in a preliminary final, get another chance through, but the likely opponent in that would be Pakenham, and you've got to remember it's a 3-way go at the top of the table. 3 sides at 13-3 with really nothing between them. Mark is taken here, but there's just a little injury concern. Yakawane, so they'll just hold it up whilst that sorts itself out. So yeah, 3 sides at 13-3, all with percentages over 200. Warburton with the benefit of finishing on top of the ladder with the highest of those percentages, but very little, if anything at all, between those 3 teams. Seville just maybe with a 4-goal win last week over Pakenham and a commanding start to this one. Might be making the move at exactly the right time to break away from those 2, but a lot of football still to be played. Chipped into the pocket. Humphrey couldn't take the mark. And outnumbered seemingly at both ends of the ground now, which is an unusual thing. They go forward. Seems to be defenders everywhere, and loose players all over the place. Seville go inside. Punch into some space. O'Neill will hold on the jumper, plays a tackle, and we'll have a ball up 25 metres around from their goal. Sciatino's there. Hyan couldn't trap the ball. Good tackle. Hurried shot towards goal. Something out of nothing, and they get it. Skipper creating a goal there, Lee. And they badly needed that. That beat a little spark that brings them back into it. 3-4 plays 9-3. Tomorrow, of course, it is Pakenham and Alexandra at Warriellic. Will be there for game face to figure out who plays the loser of this game. Seville work it down to half forward and force a bounce. Quick give, out into a little bit of space. Brick wall, Trende in the way. And the umpire comes in and will call for another ball up. Centre half forward or just inside 50. Taking his turn in there, Woolridge. Nice hand pass out wide. Can't quite get the space they need to set something up, and we'll have a bounce again. Work forward for a behind. 9-4 plays 3-4, 6-goal game. Now they get done for running too far last time, so they'll be cautious on that. Long kick out, looking for Barr. Gets through. They've got a little bit of space here. Hand pass just a bit untidy. Then they might have given the free kick away. Play on's the call. I'll go back in and lock it up. Eliades with a long flying shot at goal. It's close. Just away to the right. He has 1-2, 9-5, 59, plays 3-4, 22, 37 points margin. Taken here in the middle by Di Pietrantonio, bounces it to about 35. O'Neill puts the tackle on. Taken out of there by Aldridge. Thumping kick into the middle of the ground. Standing in the way, that's a free kick for front on contact. to Sciatino, who would have taken the mark. Right in the middle of the ground, in the centre circle. Good kick towards the leading player in Farrow. They got numbers back though, Warburton. High and under pressure. Tackled as soon as he takes possession. And held up. Can they jag one before half-time? Warburton just to claw themselves back to within 5 goals. Margin got out to 41. Sits at 37 at present. Pietrantonio gave the hand pass off and spilt the mark in the back pocket over for a throw-in. Hurried snap off the front of the pack, misses to the right. Crowd went up, but didn't have the bend on it. That sort of range, 9.660 to 3.422. Long ball down towards the wing. It's over the hands. Good sharing here from Warburton. Under pressure. They just get their hand pass away from Upton. Cicero runs into a tackle. Brought to ground. High end gets the hand pass in to Ma. Forward cut off. Getting a couple of hands on it there was Saniga. That's a trip. Umpire deeming the tackle was high enough. Certainly looked like it was knees or lower. Hand pass fed out here. O'Neill bounces it down towards half forward. Important ball to be won in the middle. O'Neill escapes. Feeds the hand pass back. They'll go towards the forward flank. Not a super bounce there for Aloy. And then closed down with a very good smother by Anjuessa, who did a good job. Long ball straight down the middle of the ground. Interesting ball here to be won. Flash across via Westlake. Out towards the back flank and over for a throw-in. Nice takeaway. Intercepted. That kick forward from Saniga. Hyan worked hard. Still one-on-one. Caught behind there was Kneva. Knocks it to ground. Pack of players descend on that and it's hied up. Bounced into the middle. Strong tackle put on and just got the hand pass out. Whistle went to the mouth. O'Keefe hurries it forward. Dresser did well. A pretty good defender today. Goes up towards the wing. Good contest. Sharp involved there. So they've got it half forward line. Over towards our broadcast side. Coming out, meeting it hard there was Caneva. A couple of possessions for him. Goes towards Hewitt. Got some good speed for someone of his size. Stepped over the boundary line, but did look like was certainly trying to keep that alive. Iron did really well. Accelerates away, takes a bounce, straightens onto the right. Good kick. Finds Humphrey, turns, goes one-on-one down there, and a good mark from Holdridge. Had the strength and had the front position. Was always going to be very difficult from there. And they do get back-to-back goals eventually. There were a few chances at the other end to answer, but that's now 2 in a row. The margin was 41, gets it back to 32, 9-6-60, plays 4-4-28 on the back of that. That was their fourth. We've had 13 individual goal scorers on the ground for the 13 goals that have been kicked. Quick hands, so punched forward effectively there from Nolan. Just leaving the ball behind there was Broadway. Seville will try to build again. Here one more time, comes out to O'Neill. O'Neill pulls the kick. Will work out okay. Marked right on the line from Morrison. Not an easy kick from here. Calls from the crowd for him to attempt the banana from down there. Goes with a drop punt and misses near side. Not by a long way. 9-7 plays 4-4. 33 points is the margin. So they've got it in the back pocket. .50 ball to be won. Eliardi's given them a real boost this quarter. Swimming over at Sarah as well, who kicked the goal in the first term. Worked in towards the corridor, they take the mark. Calls down on the bench, take you 30 seconds. Can't be a stack of time left in this first half. O'Neill, which is Tristan O'Neill yet to kick a goal, which is surprising given how many we've had. It could be their 10th from 10 in the first half. And it will be the final act of the quarter. There was a shot at goal to that end on the siren in the first term that missed to the right from Humphrey. This one directly in front from just outside 50. Has it got the carry? It does easily. And that is a big one on the halftime siren. That is their 10th. 10 individual goal scorers, as we said. 10-7-67. Plays 4-4-28. Those goal scorers: Broadway, Aloy, Trellope, Cesare, Saniga, Farrow, O'Keefe, Mason O'Neill, Eliades, and now Tristan O'Neill. Also all singles for Warburton, Aldridge, Humphrey, Hewitt, and Lee, their goal scorers. So 14 in the first half, 14 individuals, 10-7-67 to 4-4-28. Very much advantage Seville, who hold a 39-point lead at half-time. Thank you also to our crew, Ready Recovery. Play hard, recover harder. Use the code LOCALFootyHub15 at the checkout for 15% off. And of course, BMK Commercial Carpentry and Plastering. BMK built, big second half, not all that far away. Welcome back. Still a little bit gloomy. Didn't have too much rain during the halftime break. Both sides back out onto the ground as we start to get a little bit of it now. Spectators making their way from the fields. Seville have already broken from their huddle effectively into position. And Warburton still in their group about 30 metres from the goal to the left of the Orr stream. Lachlan Hewitt just joining them late, just trotting over from the bench there to get himself to that instruction. A pretty solid first half, it must be said, in the face of what was a pretty tough few 45 minutes or so for Warburton, finishing on top of the table. But all year there was a three-way breakaway. All three of Warburton first, Pakenham second, Seville third with a 13-3 record. Splitting the results amongst themselves as well. Percentages 235, 220 and 203 for those three teams. Warburton getting the week off last week as a result of finishing on top of the table. Seville beating Pakenham in the qualifying final, the 2v3 match to set this up. Winner goes into the grand final. Loser plays the winner of tomorrow's first semi in a prelim. Tomorrow's match, Pakenham and Alexandria. You would think according to seedings, that you're going to get Pakenham in the prelim, but you never know. And Warburton a chance still to win their way through here. Seville with a 39-point advantage. Couldn't have done much more than they did in that first half. Warburton have got to get things going here. It's a nice little clearance. Ferrugia gave it off towards a teammate there in Bar. Kick wasn't all that effective. Nice release ball finds Thompson. Thompson switches across defensive 50. They can lope up towards about 35. They've almost hauled in the mark down there. There was a few sets of hands on it. Clowns a call. Warburton will take it away up towards the wing position. Important one-on-one here. Good work from Upton. Was pretty creative at times. Moved well. Hewitt trapped towards the boundary, probably saved by the boundary in reality. And be thrown in. Warburton ball here. Bar turns around to about 60. Will thump it long towards goal. One-on-one in the square. No mark taken. Flected away towards the pocket. Beninga decides not to take possession. Slaps it on instead. They've got players in a heap of space on our broadcast side. Thompson takes the mark and pop it over the top. O'Keefe does it comfortably. Another intercept there. Calls for holding the ball. Still 39 points. No addition to the half-time score. Shallow throw went very high in the air. Didn't have a lot of depth to it. O'Neill took a little bit of a tackle on, and the umpires paid insufficient intent after all of that. There were a few decisions that could have been paid in that, and that's the one he landed with. Against Josh Sharp. It goes the way of Mason O'Neill, who kicked the first goal of the game. Nice centering kick there from Nolan. Finds teammate in Trellope. Another of the 10. Switch it all the way around to the opposite half-forward flank. Ball thrown back in. Warburton work it up towards High and down there. Centering kick. Work to half forward. O'Keefe caught behind his opponent. Couldn't take the mark. Bounces it down towards the half-forward flank. Trapped there under pressure from Westlake and holding the ball. Beninga, well, kick should fall just a fraction short of its target, and it's knocked away over for a throw-in. Nice clearance. And high contact. The umpires come in. It's going to be a free kick one way, but tackle just slipping up a little bit there on Caneva. Rock Caneva here on the half-back flank. Chips it short. Mark spilt there by Aldridge, forced to give it back. Now they go with a barrel. Makes pretty good contact on that too. It almost goes 50-50, and the mark well taken there by Ferrugia. Showed good athleticism, places it down into the goal square where it's all Seville, and they take an easy mark. And now they'll get advanced up the ground. Hopped over the top. Not a great kick. Intercepted there by Hewitt. Bar. High ball. Humphrey underneath it, couldn't hang on. They'll get a shot here via Hewitt on the outside of the right boot, the scramble, and they get the goal, and he's the first multiple goal scorer on the ground. And after a deadlock of 7 minutes to start the second half, they get the first and cut the margin with that to 34, 5-4, 34. Plays 10-7, 67. And pass there from Aldridge trying to feed that one back. By giving them a bit of time to sort it out. Now he's going to pay holding the ball. Searching kick to the lead of O'Keefe. Gets out and takes the mark. O'Keefe floats it towards goal and just across the face. 1 goal, 1 for him. 10-8 plays 5-4, exactly double the score at this stage, 68-34. About 8 minutes into the term. Driving kick down the middle, that's okay. Bar gets it off towards Baker. Towards the half-forward line. One-on-ones down there. They've tightened up contest a little bit in that regard. Worked all the way to half forward on the bounce. Trapped beautifully there by Farrow. Gets it off to O'Keefe. High kick towards the square. Eliades tracks back but doesn't need to get there. Second one for him, 11-8-74. Plays 5-4-34, margin back out to 40 points. Stepping around out of the middle. High snap down towards the wing. And bouncing over. Throw in. just gets boot to ball as whistle goes to the mouth again. It's in play now, a little hold of the jumper, so that's going to come back. Advantage won't be paid on that. So in the middle of the ground, it's going to be free kick going with Saniga. Chipped out wide. Trapped by Thompson, who's had a pretty good quarter, though that not his finest kick. So up against the boundary line, trailing by nearly 7 goals, just one short of the game high margin at the moment. Just not getting those roads that they need. Morrison intercepts. Another one like Thompson, who's given them a fair bit of run. Sciatino, who has it. In towards the pocket. Has it got the carry? It's there for another one. And Warburton now, you'd think, with the little rally they had sort of late second quarter, early third term, difficult, interesting mindset with the double chance too, with the preliminary final to come. Got obviously to make sure that they're fresh for what you would think is a likely outcome or a likely meeting with Pakenham. Seville go forward again. Trapped here by Warburton. Short kicks neat. Finds a target in Upton down the line. Goes further afield. Keeps that kick low as Rothwell. Finds a target. That's neat ball movement down our broadcast side. The hands of Aniva, who's built into the game pretty well since quarter time. Sets it up into the pocket. Barr, as he held the mark he has, certainly had front position. There might have been a few sets of hands on it, but it was always likely to go his way. Long towards the top of the square. At the back, they eventually concede the behind. Saniga happy to head for the safety. 5 plays 12-8. 45 points the margin. Over towards the boundary line and over goes. Taking a turn in the ruck here, it's Woolridge. Iron trying to break free. Looking through there, Henry. O'Neill steps around, drives a kick towards half forward. It goes over the top and over for a throw in the pocket. running headfirst into a tackle there, but picking up the football, hadn't ducked his head, so definitely a free kick. Go the way of Rothwell. Thought about the switch. We'll go now towards our broadcast side. It's a 2-on-1 in favour of Seville, and they win it back easily. Petrie goes with the centering kick. Now, there's only about 3 players behind Meninga at the moment on the ground. Go down towards half forward. Now, the player thrown right out of that contest is O'Neill, right in front of the umpire who was coming in to set the mark. And he advanced via Thompson, who's been a very good player, to well within scoring range. On the approach, and they can do no wrong at the moment. Becomes their 11th goal scorer. Gets their 13th on the board. Move along, 1886 to 5-5-35. Work down towards half forward here by Warburton, all one-on-ones. They've got it just inside the centre square. It's toe poked out just to give themselves a little bit of room, losing their footing. Just launching the kick out of the pack into some sort of space. O'Neill paddled it along, good intercept. Well done out there by Lee, who got across and got in the road. But Seville with weight of numbers. Pietrantonio, they'll go into the pocket. Very good kick. And Broadway close to the line. Takes the mark. He had a shot at goal from tight in the pocket. Second turn. Tucks to the near side on that occasion. It's not a bad looking kick, just missing. 1 goal, 1 for him. So in possession here, Walker. Short and has it. Kick smothered. They got the numbers there to support. Coming across was Sharp. Tackle pressure from Seville, who can feel a grand final appearance close enough to touch, and they would have to be confident. Comfortable win over Pakenham last week. If they get a comfortable win over Warburton today, their 2 main rivals. Leaves them in very good shape with a week off in there as well, which isn't always the best thing in terms of momentum, but mark taken. Chip it inboard. Hines kept working. A pretty good game. Fair bit of the ball. Short finds a target. They run through the middle of the ground. Drive it long. Largely unimpeded run at the ball there. They come out and take the mark. It is Hewitt. Shot at goal is close, and he snuck it in. He's kicked 3, 2 in this quarter, both of their goals in this quarter. 6-5. One plays 13-8. 86. Warburton with the clearance. Hack kick forward, well marked by Medson, who judged it well in flight. Goes short. Intercept here. Big man getting back in the road. Hasn't had the worst game. Woolridge, when he's had his opportunity in the ruck, goes towards his fellow ruckman there in Aldridge, who's presented well, but couldn't hold on to it on that occasion. Kept alive just got the hand pass away. Yep, touch fortunate. Hand pass Guillotino. Now the umpire has paid a hold of the jumper. And it'll be advanced. Just getting sucked in a little bit. Don't want to be doing anything that would potentially get your name in the book at this stage. Driving ball towards attacking 50. Went through the hands of Aloy, who came out. Goes after Juessa. Still bouncing around on the halfback flank. Goes towards the pocket, and all lands in the hands remarkably of another man who's yet to kick a goal. They've had 11 goal scorers. This guy's been one of the best players on the ground in Nolan. Could add himself, the skipper, onto that sheet. In this term, they've kicked 3 goals 2 to 2 goals 1. Extended the 39-point halftime break out to the biggest of the game now at 46. And he's been advanced to the line to make this a certainty. So that's about the 5th penalty of that nature in this quarter. And no mistake, that's 12 goal scorers for their 14. Their 4th of the term, margin beyond 52 points. And they're going to have to start thinking about what a fortnight from now might look like and how they perhaps manage the next couple of weeks. Head along, you'd think, tomorrow to a bit of a look at who they might be playing. Woolridge goes up in the ruck. It almost lands at the feet of both of them. Punched out of there by Barrow, winning at the bounce. Another one here. 14-9 plays 6-5. 4 goals to 1 at quarter time. 18 points then. 39 at the half. 2 as it stands now. Spiked forward. Also getting a hand on there was McHale. One of their better players today has been Baker. Finds a teammate out wide. Good speed Breaking clear there from Upton. Hooks the kick on the left. Flying high at it in the front position. O'Neill just overran it. Hand pass comes out. Hewen goes with a long shot towards goal. Will fall short and be marked in the pocket. Move it on. Finds Trellope. Trellope concedes back to the goal square. Foot kick just called out of it there was Cesare. O'Neill takes the mark. Mason O'Neill. Of course, you've got Mason, Tristan, Aspen all having an influence. The umpire, you can tell, plant the feet like that they're going to pay holding the ball. It's with Nolan. And that will be, she wrote, barrels that long towards goal, falls well short. But at three-quarter time, barring anything remarkable, Seville will be grand final bound. 14-9, 93 to 6-5 at 41. 2 to O'Keefe, singles to Broadway, Thompson, Morrison, Aloy, Trellope, Cicera, Saniga, Farrow, Nolan, Mason O'Neill, Eliades and Tristan O'Neill. And for Warburton, 3 goals to Hewitt. You kick both of their goals in that term. 1 each to Aldridge, Humphrey and Lee. So 52 points. We might have the first of our 2 grand final positions secured. A big thank you to our major sponsors, Healesville Greyhounds, local footy hub, Pettis Suspension and Brakes, the team at Architectural Cladding Suppliers, and Game Face Vision. Plenty more to come. The big final term as we count down towards Seville earning the first place in the grand final. Can Warburton lick their wounds and come back again? Can they take something out of this last quarter, build some momentum, land a few on Seville to make it feel like they can get things moving their way? Driving ball forward, punched down, trapped well here by Perugia, curls it towards a dangerous position. All the numbers again with Seville are just swarming after footy. Not the best of hand passes though, and allowed Aldridge to get across, paddles it towards the boundary, and it eventually goes over. Taken out of the ruck again by Aldridge, kick smothered. Deflects the way of Seville, who will wobble the left foot kick. It's going to be a relayed free kick by the looks of it. It's just been a little bit too much of that from Warburton. Cicera goes into the middle of the ground, finds a teammate. They wheel, they go to half forward, one-on-ones. Did pretty well Broadway to nudge his opponent under the footy, but that weight of numbers does prevail. Like the game of Baker, this guy hasn't been too bad either, Put his teammate under a bit of pressure there in Rothwell, and eventually it's coughed up. Little dinky ball there from Eliades into the middle of the ground. They've just got so much run. They could have given that by hand again. The umpire opting not to. Well, he can't pay the advantage because the free kick went the other way. That will be Woolridge in there. Down to the middle of the ground. Steps around. Floats the left foot kick into the pocket. Good mark. Good vertical leap there from Perugia. Necessarily have the height, but was able to just get off the ground, time it well. Took a very good mark. Can he draw first blood in the last term? Pretty good second half. Quieter early. Kicks from about 45. Looks all right off the boot. Through it goes. Nice finish. 7-5. Plays 14-9. 6 points. They trim the margin back to 47, playing 93. Their fifth goal scorer on the day. Secondary bounce in the middle. Woolridge. There the skipper is Nolan. One forward here by Warburton, but turned over. Lead on the charge there. Keefe had a pretty good game, kicked a couple. Gets onto the right, sets it up to a dangerous position. They climb over the top. Mark taken by the defender in front. Spectacular leap. Alloy, but comfortably held. Short ball finds Sharp. Sharp turns it over on the way out. 60 metres from home. Seville will go to the leading target. Boy, hasn't had the biggest of days. Probably only had a handful of possessions. Kicked the goal just before halftime. We'll line up for a second here. 41 goals this season. Sits inside the top 6. O'Keefe have been prominent in front of the sticks, including last week. O'Keefe with 3 in that game. So Lloyd kicks from 50. It's been a pretty good day of set shot goal kicking, and that is another example of it. And keep him out of the game. He's got 2. joins O'Keefe as a multiple for his side. And they restore the three-quarter time advantage of 52. 15-9, plays 7-5. It's been a very pleasing performance. Type that would certainly see them hard to beat in a fortnight's time. Warburton have tasted defeat only 3 times this season. It will be a 4th today. With the benefit of the double chance and top spot on full display when they head out next week. And the umpire calls for a bounce. Nolan flicks it forward. Higher no sharked it. Under pressure, Henry. Just a kick forward. Well read at the back. It comes out here towards Marr. Straightens up, goes to the pocket. Awkward kick for the big man Aldridge on the lead. And now he's sitting on top of an umpire with the benefit of the doubt. And stripped of it, holding the ball. Good forward pressure. Continuing to work hard down there. And again, it'll be Firouzja who kicked the goal from almost this exact spot to start the term about 6 or 7 minutes ago. Similar angle on the approach. Neat kick through the middle for his seconds. 2 in the last quarter. 8-5 plays 15-9. Two goals to 1 in this last term. Bar charges through, gets through a couple of tackles, thumps him inside 50. Aldridge knocks it down for Upton, who lays a tackle. The pump a little bit down there. Sciatino close to the boundary line, couldn't keep it in play, and it heads out. Quick hand pass, finds a teammate in Saniga. They now work it off half back. Driving kick's a good one. Finds Barrow, who goes high. Warburton sitting underneath it. Don't quite hang on to the mark, but they'll keep it in front. Hand pass back towards some space. Might have heard a voice taken by Thompson. Not kept alive. Hand pass went right on the line there. Probably correct decision. Morrison was to be the recipient, but it'll come back for a throw-in. As we say, how does Seville manage some of their key players? Now, they've got the week off. You don't want to take the foot off the gas. The intensity of finals, when you've got all the momentum. But, so you don't want to risk any of your key players of the premiership on the line in a fortnight. Here is Thompson, been very good, caught high Nat as he slipped over. Sets it up to the pocket. Take it at the back, squeezing kick from Alloy to the square, but they had a goalkeeper back to deny them. Ferrugia continuing to work hard, gets on a long lead and takes the mark. Right on defensive 50. Upton, the target down there. It lands at his toes. Has to go back in after it. Close to the line down there. Keeps it alive once more. Just run down as he went to hand pass it. The arm pulled down. Perfect tackle. The free kick go the way of Seville. Basically true wing position. Concedes a bit of ground. Back it comes towards Medicine. Plenty of space. Kick doesn't hit him directly, but that's okay. They go towards the leading target in the middle of the ground. Sciatino has it. Now to a one-on-one down there. Nolan, very clever knock on there by Antonio. Over the top, it clears the hands, and it's another one. Sciatino gets on the board and another individual goal kicker. That's 13. 13 individual goal scorers amongst the 16 that they've kicked in this game. 16-9, 105 to 8-5, 53. And just that spread of options, giving them an enormous amount of confidence. 52 points to margin, as it was at three-quarter time. 2 goals apiece in this term. High end, hand pass cut off by Tristan O'Neill. Off to Sciatino, kicked the last goal. Does he want another one? Right to the line, touched off hands. 16-10 plays 8-5, exactly double the score. Kick out is intercepted. Fraction too far out to score. Chips up towards a target in the pocket. That target is O'Keefe. After 3 goals in the qualifying final, O'Keefe will line up for a third in the second semi. And the margin will become 10 goals if this is straight. Pretty good display, as we said, of set shot kicking, given the conditions haven't been super. And that's another from the left forward pocket. Splits the middle. He's got 3. 17-11, 1-1-3, plays 8-5, 53. Ten-goal game. Looks like they're going to drive this all the way to the line. High ball, knocked down. So it's a 3-2 last term. Short ball. Got it just outside 50 here via Upton. Another who's worked pretty hard, goes to the pocket, pulls the kick too far. Back to the top of the square. Share it around. Not a great kick on the way out. We'll have a stoppage at about 50 metres from goal. High end feeds the hand pass out. Gets to his teammate there in Westlake. Down to the pocket. Hooking, centering kick, and Nolan been terrific. Just got there first, read it better than everyone, takes the mark. Short finds Meninga in the back pocket. Oh, Lope across an offensive goal. Kawoni, the vice-captain, played an important role as well to another of the O'Neills. Giatino will keep it inside the field of play. Drives it to half forward, had too much on it. At the back. Wobbling kick into the middle. Upton lumber after it. Thought about the hand pass. Sold some candy, so I got some poise. Short kick, just the required. Finds a target. This man started the game pretty well, but has just drifted out of it a little bit. Free kick, 1 goal, 2. Up until about 10 minutes into the second quarter. Haven't seen a stack of him since then. 55 goals for the season. And that one's headed left, and he's got 1 goal, 3. Eight, 6, 54, 17, 10, 112, 58-point game. We'll see both of these sides again. Seville to fight for the cup in a fortnight, and may well be joined by this Warburton side who will play the winner of Pakenham and Alexandra next week's preliminary final. Holding the ball, Cesare, another of their goal kickers. Most of the players on the ground fit that criteria. Goes towards O'Keefe, marks on the second bite. Goes to half forward, good strong lead there from Farris, built the mark, got it back again, then probably holding the ball. Umpire in the benefit of the doubt. Hand pass fed through there, looking for Gordon. Couldn't find him, and the turnover results in a goal. Thompson gets his second, launching that on the run. And it's a 64-point game, 18-10 to 8-6. Cutting through the middle of the ground there from Morrison. Eliades feeds the hand pass out. They've got about 40 metres out. Another flying shot at goal. Misses to the left. Goal umpire didn't really move, which created the illusion that had gone through, but it had not. Warburton quickly work it up towards the half-back flank. Through the middle of the ground now. Climbing high was Westlake, got a hand to it and brought it to ground. And they swarm and put some pressure. get through there was Sarah. Have another ball up. Way through the term. Trapped it centre half forward here by Hewitt. Flying shot at goal. Can he get a Shepherd through for a fourth in the square? It's punched away for a rush behind. 8-7. Plays 18-10. Last quarter has been 4 goals 1 to 2 goals 2. They've won every term. Seville. Di Pietrantonio has it on the half-back flank. Goes to the wing position. Cesare traps it. Couldn't get the hand pass away. Interesting one for the umpire to interpret whether there was a touch on that or not. Spike down taken here by Barr, who keeps on running. Bouncing it down inside 50. He's followed up his work there. Took on one tackle. Just got away. Centering kicks a good one. Finds Hyan, who's got it about 45 metres from goal. Been probably in their best 4 or 5 players in this game. Would have had the ball 20 to 25 times. Generally makes good decisions with it, executes well. That one misses to the right. 8-8. Plays 18-10. Kick in worked here to the half-back flank where they've got the mark. Chipping kick, a little bit of risk associated in that. He's high and again, steps through, finds a target inside 50, good kick. Again, nice play. Humphrey will have another crack at a second. It's his 5th shot at goal, so he's still been involved. 1 goal 3 he has at the moment. And that is close, and he's got it. Second goal to Bailey Humphrey. 9-8-62, plays 18-10, 118. 2 goals 3. 56 on the season, sits second in the competition. (18-10) plays 9-8. 4 goals to 3 in this term. Not a stack of time left in the game. Sarah didn't get a possession away there. Aldridge lumbering after it. Doing well. Di Pietrantonio through. To half forward. Schiattino gets it off towards O'Neill. Flying shot at goal. There's another one. Mason O'Neill with the goal. His second. Kicked the first of the game. It's another one there. 19-10 plays 9-8. 62-point game. Aldridge trying to fight his way through there. Eliades gets the hand pass off. Nolan, neat work out of the middle. That's a pure clearance. And Dominic Aloy can go for a third. Taking the majority of their chances game so far. 15-10 last week. They've got 19-10 at the moment. 20 goals in a final if this is good, and it misses to the left. Crowd went up, but just drifting away. Worked all the way up to the wing. So they'll get a throw in here on the half forward line. And there's the siren. Arms in the air as Seville become the first team into the grand final in 2025. Will they face... There are still three potential opponents. This Warburton side, Pakenham and Alexandra, the winner of Pakenham Alexandra, to take on Warburton in a preliminary final. The loser of that game goes home, but Seville do not. They get the week off into the decider. Very strong, even performance. 3 goals to O'Keefe, 2 to Thompson, 2 to Aloy, 2 to Mason O'Neill, singles to Broadway, Sciatino, Morrison, Trollope, Cesare, Saniga, Farrow, Nolan, Eliades and Tristan O'Neill. And for Warburton, 3 goals to Hewitt, 2 to Ferrugia in the last quarter, 2 to Humphrey, 1 to Aldridge and 1 to the skipper Lee in the second quarter when they needed a bit of a lift. But 19 goals, 11, 125, a very powerful performance to 9-8-62, a 64-point margin in the end, 19-12 to 9-8. Very convincing win. They've now beaten both of their main season rivals in consecutive finals. And there'll be one job left for them to complete. Warburton in the top spot earns them the double chance. And as it turns out, they will obviously need the double chance as they move into the preliminary final next week, where they would still obviously be given a very strong chance to bounce back. There'll be reviews of this game, replays, highlights available on your local footy hub, so make sure you check those out. In the meantime, we will sign off from Yarra Glen. We will be back at Warrigalloc tomorrow for that first semi-final to determine just what this matchup does look like next week. But thank you for tuning in. A big thank you to all of our game day sponsors as well. Hillsville Greyhounds, Petter Suspension and Brakes, and of course many, many more. Check out the Outer Eastern Footy Show, which is particularly timely at this time of year. But plenty more to come across the season, and we'll catch you again soon.